Greetings, I'm the Bulgarian Troglodyte. So today I'm gonna talk about two Twin Peaks streams that I had this year. One of them I had in January, shortly after David Lynch sadly passed away. Then the other one I had earlier this week, hence I'm shooting this video now. And you might remember that I have done videos on my Twin Peaks streams in the past. I think I've done 2 in total. In the first one I talked about several different Twin Peaks streams that I have had over the years, and then on the other one I just talked about one stream that I had after I made that original video. But then this year I've had 2 Twin Peaks related streams, at least. Maybe I've had more, but I forgot about them. But yeah, I think it might be good if you're interested to watch those previous videos, because I'm actually gonna reference them here a little bit, especially the first one, because it relates to the dream I had in January. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about the dream I had in January first. It's not the most interesting dream. I think the second dream that I had this week is more interesting. But in January I had this dream that I was in a dark room in a shithole house. There was a sofa in the middle of the room. I was sitting in the left corner of the sofa, and my mother was actually sitting in the right corner of the sofa. And we were watching Twin Peaks and Mulholland Drive on this old small TV, like one of those kind of box TVs that we had like 25-30 years ago, which I also had experience with during my childhood. And yeah, we were watching those together and talking over it. But then during that dream I was thinking that when I wake up from this dream I have to start watching Twin Peaks The Return again. So I kind of realized in that dream that it was a dream, and then when I wake up I have to start watching Twin Peaks The Return again. And then I actually started watching it again after that dream. After I woke up in the morning, I put the discs from this ugly looking box set on my Blu-ray player and started watching Twin Peaks The Return. Then I watched the whole show in 3 days, I think. So I was watching like 5-6 episodes a day or something like that. Yeah. So that's a very Lynchian thing to do, that a dream tells you to watch it again, and then I did that. Like, that really adds to the Twin Peaks experience when you kind of mix your dreams and watching Twin Peaks together. Yeah, that's the kind of best possible Lynch experience that one can have, I guess. Yeah. And I really enjoyed watching this Twin Peaks The Return again. It was my 3rd time watching it all the way through. Although it was the first time I watched it through these discs on this box set, and these discs actually had lots of audio issues. So oftentimes during the episode the audio cut off completely for a little bit, then it comes back on, then it cuts off again, and that happened throughout most of the episodes, not all of them. So that really annoyed me when I was watching it. And again, I bought this box set already years ago, but this was my first time watching it through the box set, so I was really sad that the discs had those flaws in them. The picture quality was absolutely perfect, there was nothing wrong with that, but it was just audio issues. Then I went online and I discovered that many other people had issues with this particular box set as well. Yeah. But whatever, I still had a great time watching the show, but next time I watch it I probably have to watch it through some other method, but we'll see. But not much happened in that dream though. Like, I was just watching it with my mother. We talked about it a little bit and we were just watching it. But in my original Twin Peaks streams video I of course talked about how I have this kind of recurring dream where I'm in a shithole house, sitting in a sofa in an ugly looking living room. There's nothing really in the living room other than like an ugly looking old sofa, then an old TV, and then there's usually a door to the left of the TV, and then on those streams I usually walk through the door and then something really weird happens. Once I saw Bob and I had a laughing contest with Bob. Then once I was transported into a factory that was full of zombies and I had to fight them. But I talk about that stuff more in the original video. But usually in these streams I watch Twin Peaks either by myself or with Laura Palmer. So usually there's that kind of meta element of watching it with Laura Palmer, but this time it was with my mother. And I've never watched Twin Peaks with my mother. She watched Twin Peaks back when it was originally coming out in Finland, but she hasn't seen it since. But I've talked about it with her a little bit, even though she doesn't really remember it at all. But I have watched Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive with my mother once with both films, but thought that was a bit awkward due to some scenes in those films, but it was still fun. I guess, yeah, I enjoyed watching those films as always when I was watching them with my mother, even though it was a bit awkward, but she didn't really like those films, I think, although she wasn't really paying any attention because she has lots of attention span problems when watching movies, so she's always just looking at the walls and not really focusing on the film unless the film is The Shining, which is her favorite. But anyway, so yeah, that was a fun little dream, I guess. But I think the fun part of it was that I actually did what my dream told me to do and rewatched Twin Peaks: The Return. But let's get into the second dream now, which is way more interesting. And again, I had it earlier this week. So in that dream I was in some high school type of building, because there were those lockers that you have in schools and stuff, but it wasn't one of the schools that I attended in real life, even though I often have dreams about all the schools that I've been to in my life, and I fucking hate those dreams. Like, I wish I wouldn't have to live through high school and stuff again, but I always have dreams about that. I guess I was just so traumatized by those experiences that they always come to me in my dreams. But anyway, that's not the topic of the video. But yeah, I was walking down the stairs in this high school. It had that kind of a weird stair that there were like it's so hard to explain without showing it, but there were stairs like going through this direction, then you have like a little turn like this, and then there were stairs, more stairs down there. So I was walking from like upstairs to downstairs, but then Laura was coming upstairs, and then we met in the middle of the staircase. So I'm talking about Laura Palmer here, of course. So she walks up the stairs, then I kind of stopped because I saw Laura, and there was this implication in the dream that we were friends, we knew each other. But then she actually drops on her knees on the staircase, and she's looking at the wall in front of her, but I'm kind of coming from the side, so I'm seeing her from the side. But then she turns her head, and I see she's crying, and she has this very disturbed looking facial expression. And she's that Laura from Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. I mean that she's that age, so she isn't the older version in Twin Peaks: The Return, but she's the version here. Yeah. Then I ask her, "What's wrong, Laura? Why are you crying?" Then she says that he is still after me, and again she's constantly crying when she says that. And I ask, "Who is still after you? Are you talking about Bob?" And then she says that yeah, she's talking about Bob. But then I look at the direction where she came from. Again, there is like a long kind of corridor there, and nobody's there, not Bob or anybody else. So then I start thinking that, is she just seeing an hallucination or something? Maybe she's so traumatized that she thinks that Bob is still around even though he's dead. Because in this dream there's that implication that, or it implies that Bob had been killed, like he was killed in the Twin Peaks: The Return, so he shouldn't be around anymore. But then Laura says that he is still after her, that maybe he didn't actually die, or maybe he's been resurrected or something. Of course it's Twin Peaks, so many different things can happen there. But then I just look at the direction where she came from, and then I said that, "Leave her alone." Yeah. but there was nobody there, so I was just talking at the wall or talking at that direction even though there was nobody there. But I thought that maybe Bob was invisible or something, so I was just looking at that direction and leave her alone. Yeah, I was trying to be all macho, I guess, to help my friend Laura Palmer. Yeah, but then shortly after that, the dream just ended and nothing else happened, so that was a bit weird. But I don't know then that whether Bob was actually still after her or maybe she was just having hallucinations or something. It's hard to say. And that kind of had that feeling that it was a different timeline, kind of like in the end of Twin Peaks The Return, when again Agent Cooper and that different version of Laura, they go back to the house, then in the end Laura of course screams, so it kind of had that vibe a little bit. So I think this, maybe there was something going on with different timelines and stuff like that here as well. Well, it was certainly a different timeline than in the original Twin Peaks, because of course Laura was young here, she was still alive, and again the dream implied that Bob had died, but for some reason he was still alive even though we thought that he was dead. So like a very weird timeline right here. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you have had any Twin Peaks dreams. I've had quite a lot of them throughout time, and also other Lynch related dreams, but definitely check out those other Twin Peaks dream videos that I have had. I even show some pictures in them to kind of give a bit more of a visual idea of what the dreams looked like. But I think I might do some more dream related videos in the future, because I have crazy dreams pretty much every night. A lot of them actually relate to films and TV shows. Like I, for example, had lots of dreams about the TV show Lost, where I'm also stranded in an island and there are hostile people there and stuff that we have to figure out how to deal with them. Although in my dreams that situation is even more kind of creepy than in the actual TV show. Then last year I had a dream about Full Metal Alchemist, one of my favorite animes, and there was that character Bride, one of the villains in the show, and he was torturing me to death over and over and over again. Yeah. But anyway, I've had so many dreams like that. Some of them are nightmares, some of them are good dreams, and some of them are neutral. These days I feel like most of my dreams are neutral, so they aren't like good dreams or nightmares. They are somewhere in between. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your interpretations, and sayonara, arigato gozaimashita.